All right.
Hey guys, I've officially pushed the start streaming button. This is going to
Yay!
be a little bit of a crazy thing. We're going to do some world building today. We're going to talk to some of these people that I'm going to be playing some Shadowrun with, and we're going to see what happens. This is going to be a street themed game, but not a street level game because the street level game rules are stupid and bad. So with that in mind, first thing we're going to do is a bit of world building, find out some things about this gang that you guys are sort of a part of. Sort of, I don't know.
Mm,
So what? I threw some questions on the back here of the the table to see where we can get started and what you guys have an interest in kind of figuring out for the gang and how that kind of relates to some of your characters, which we'll get into the actual characters in a little bit as we go to introduce them like one by one. You
all right.
guys were talking about a living in a building owned by the gang as basically squatters who are initiates. Do you want to be actual gang members, or you want to be still working to prove yourself into the gang?
I think
Um, I
our thought
figured
was
the
to be.
gang was sort of a thing that's been around for a while.
Hmm.
My character's been out for like 6 years. I figured it would have been something of a return to the gang, but I don't know.
Okay. So
I,
you,
I think we were leaving that open to you to see if there was something that you maybe thought would be more interesting to explore on from your side. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys.
Nope, it's about right.
well, the nice thing about an initiation aspect of things is there's all kinds of things they can make you do and not pay you
Right.
because you want to prove yourself to the gang. So go do this incredibly dangerous task before we accept you as a proper member.
Right.
So that is a potential thing. Or as 6 years have flown by for our jailbird, the you guys could have potentially already been initiated into the gang proper, but poor Acid has not because they've been in lockup, and now we need to work through their proper joining of the gang.
Hmm. I I kind personally I kind of like the second of that just because it's like the three of us have to help Acid get into the gang and
Yeah,
possible shenanigans could occur.
sounds good to me.
Well,
Awesome.
the way I was thinking of coming at it was essentially I'm starting off unaffiliated, doing something similar. I assume that was what we were all doing, though.
So the two gnomes could be the existing gang members, and the other people are one is a an old friend returning, and the other one is a new hanger on, as it were.
Yeah, he's kind of he's just gotten free of previous obligations. Now he's looking to do something fun, basically.
And the first thing I do for fun is join a gang.
That's the great opportunity for violence. So,
Right? It's how Seattle gets around. Um, well, in that case, for our two people who are actual full blown gang members, then,
Mm-hmm.
what was your initiation like?
Uh, First of all, Ian, are you here?
I am here.
Okay. So let's see. I
I mean, you
think,
hosted the Carl.
yeah, I think it would be like stealing something like a car, or maybe if the gang like needs a particular thing, maybe we have to go out and steal that. Like figure out how to steal it and all that. They just give you like the object they need to get, and depending on obviously depending on how much they want you in the gang, would be how difficult the job would be.
All right, so the gang would be like, I need you to go steal, like if they need a car or something else along those lines. Uh,
Right.
okay. Um, Another important question is going to be, where are you guys located in Seattle?
I I was just basically thinking Redmond is pretty much the only area that I could think of that there'd be like a lot of gang activity other than maybe Puyallup. or whatever.
Well, there's a couple of gangs that operate out of, I believe the Halloweeners are based out of downtown, and that kind of stuff. So that's most C areas you could probably get away with.
Okay. Oh, by the way, do you have the map of that stuff? I would need to look that up.
I have a map somewhere that I could send you guys a link to.
Cool. That would probably be pretty helpful because I don't think that the rest of these guys have even played in Seattle at all. So
No,
Oh.
I don't know anything about the lore behind Seattle.
Seattle's great. Everything goes horribly wrong there.
Yeah, the only thing I've really played there was the video games, and that's it.
I know
Gotcha.
there's an arcology from
There are
that
there are a
burnt down
couple,
horribly.
and some things went not so good in said arcology. There's a link for you guys that'll get you to a Seattle. It's probably not exactly the best of things for not knowing where things are because it's got a lot of pretty colored dots on it.
Oh, I've
Yeah.
seen this before.
Yeah, I've seen it before. I think Ethan, you linked this once.
probably.
But Redmond, Puyallup, and I think Renton. No, Renton's got a lot of A's in it.
Looks like Snohomish, maybe, or Everett. Is that?
There's a lot of-
Seems like it has a lot of high security areas, but also some low security areas.
Yeah. Why can I not? Oh, there's Redmond.
So it has huge tracts of land, mountains, hills, and woodlands, along with a developed land controlled by agribusiness. It is a far cry from the steel towers and plastic streets for the rest of Seattle, mostly because I googled Shadowrun Snohomish.
Hmm.
It's one of the most sparsely populated districts, primarily agricultural. Let's see if they
Well,
got any.
I've got some specialties in urban skills, so I
Same.
don't know if that synergy is really there for that area.
And I have a phobia of forests.
So let's go to this place.
Sounds perfect, right?
Yeah.
So it lists under the crime there's nothing major, but some small local gangs are present.
Okay.
Where if we click over to Redmond and then scroll way down, there are 1, 2, 3, like 4 gangs listed on here that are operable in just like Redmond in general. There are apparently, according to the Redmond side of that wiki, there are more gangs in Redmond than in any other district of Seattle.
Right.
The big ones being Rusted Stilettos, Brain Eaters, Red Hot Nukes, and some other stuff.
It's like
Crimson
5
Crush
gang markers
and
on the
the
map.
Spiders.
Yeah.
The other two.
So there's plenty of opportunity there, and it's it's a beat up, rundown landscape.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm thinking Redmond. For me, that's what I'm thinking. My vote.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Sure.
Sure.
As long as it's got urban areas and rundown areas, I'm fine.
Sure does. Redmond is great.
Nobody cares what you do there.
Only the other gangs care, which may or may not be a
Good thing.
yeah, maybe a good thing, maybe a bad thing. Who knows? Another important question is how big of a gang is this? Are you guys just a couple of?
I'd say I mean, personally, I was thinking maybe like a couple dozen guys, maybe like more than that, maybe upwards of 50 people at most, but not like, I don't know, is that big? I don't think that's very big. Anyone have any?
Yeah. You could argue that 12 people is big for a crime organization.
Yeah, like 50 was the upper limit of what I was thinking.
Remember that not all people necessarily in a gang are street tough gangbangers. There can be, the gangbanger, the gangbanger's girlfriend, the gangbanger's illegitimate child. and the gangbanger's mother who is old and decrepit, but is living out her days in a blissful ignorance.
So many targets.
But those would all be under this umbrella of like the size of the gang, of how many people are in them, and how much influence and whatnot they have.
Right. I'd almost say like we could just roll like 5d10 and see how many people we have in the gang.
It's also
Does that
true.
sound reasonable?
I'm okay with that.
Good.
Awesome. Let's see some dice then.
Oh, why don't you just roll all 5? You're God.
All right, put the pressure on. 31 members in some. In some mix of family members and actual members.
Right.
Do you guys have any, as part of the gang situation, do you have any alliances or enemies with other gangs in the area, or anything else along those lines that would be criminally active?
I have a contact.
This would be stuff outside of your contacts. Your contacts are people that you know and that you interact with. This would be people who are like, you're on a bad political situation with another gang. Let's use the Halloweeners because they're crazy. You guys did some bad things in between the two of you, and there's bad blood there. Or maybe you worked with the Halloweeners, and they think that the gnomes are funny, so that they're on good terms with them. Stuff like that.
Sounds so funny.
Yeah. I think that we definitely need some kind of rival gang, right? In my opinion, we definitely need at least one, if not multiple.
Preferably bigger and stronger than us.
I also feel like the way we work out, we're going to end up with an enemy gang sooner or later anyway.
Yeah, we are definitely going to have enemy gangs eventually anyway, but we should definitely start with some as well.
And these don't necessarily have to be like canon gangs from the book. We can make up a ton of, especially in Redmond. There could be some little crappy 10-member gang who's really just the kids from the ages of 13 to 18 that live in a single apartment building.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm not sure that I would want to do something like where our rival... Like, obviously, one of the named gangs on the wiki are not going to see us as a rival. They're just going to be, hey, there's a couple people over there. We should probably just go wipe them out if they're a problem.
It's like, they're on our turf. Let's just go throw them off.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, at least not at the beginning. Nobody of that kind of importance is going to be on the...
But I do agree that they should probably have more resources, more contacts than us. Because I like the idea of having some challenge there.
All right, so let's get a name for a rival gang.
Neo Foxes.
I was thinking it. I didn't want to say it, but
I'm cool with it.
Yep.
All right.
Sure.
Let's get some details on the Neo Foxes outside of the fact that after passing the initiation, you get fox ears.
And butt plug tails.
I was thinking the BioWare tails could be a, like, when you reach lieutenant stage.
That's fun, because you can't pull them out and beat them to death with them.
That is... Oh.
Yeah.
Apparently Ryan really doesn't like foxes.
Hey.
He's just mad that Dodger got married.
BioWare ears upon initiation, tail upon promotion.
It's
I
so
think
weird.
I think the Neo Foxes are like some kind of go gang, like a motorcycle gang.
Sure. That would definitely put them better equipped than you guys, given as that means they would all have vehicles.
Yeah, we
And-
don't have those.
Yep. We
Um,
don't.
We spent all of our money on our gear.
wonderful.
I have one.
Excellent. Is it a Dodge Scoot?
No, it's like a shitty Nissan subcompact car.
Good news!
Still
As you have two gnomes, that won't take up that much space in your car.
I have
you
a
still have
motorcycle.
that astral weird quality, Ryan?
Yeah, I was actually going to ask Rob about that if he wanted me to change it still or not.
We
Because
can
I'm
worry
not
about that later.
sharing- I'm not
Okay.
sharing a car with you if you have that quality.
It won't be that bad.
We'll just put you on the roof.
So,
That's still too close.
is there a gang or a criminal organization that you guys have a bit of an alliance, or a not necessarily like a full blown alliance, but let's say a positive relationship with? Because obviously the Neo Foxes are no good,
Obviously.
and they're obviously colored orange and white. Because
Maybe we were friends with people called the Hounds, because they use hunting dogs when hunting foxes.
No, I think you're getting way too thematic. I'm no longer having fun.
You're getting pretty hung up on that fuck part. I don't know why that's happening.
I just decided that for some reason I don't like the name Neo Foxes. I don't know why.
it's fine. That's what we get for messing around with that random gang name generator the other day.
Hey, come on. Where else would you come up? Wait, you have mature content on, right? For this?
I sure do.
I just went back to the generator and I got the cock and balls cannibals.
Now that's good.
That's something.
I feel like we would work with them.
I'm for it.
Something
You know
we
what?
would do.
They are our allies.
But I think they should be a smaller gang.
Yep, it's like 2 guys.
Well, which one's the cock and which one's the balls?
One is a troll and the other's an orc.
I'm
Oh
still worried
man!
about which one's which.
All
You'll
right.
initiate to find out.
Sweet.
Uh,
Their names are Greg and Greg. One's like two G's.
oh god, I hate them already.
Until you
What
hear
was
our
the
names.
what was the full thing? Cannibal something?
Yeah, well, hang on. I'll cop. I could just put it in there actually, but
Cock
Sure.
and balls.
All cannibals.
Oh, there was no anything else. Oh no! I got it. Instead of we'll just change it to the cannibals.
the cock and cannibals.
No, we'll take that part out. We'll make it because
Oh.
you don't want your gang name to be super long. That makes you sound like a douchebag.
Sure. I don't care. That's fine.
But we will all deep down inside know what the cannonballs really are all about. Greg and Greg, troll and orc.
I'd just like to think that to their friends they introduce themselves as the cock and ball cannibals, but to everyone else, just the cannibals.
Cannonballs.
Yeah.
Cannibals.
Wonderful. 31 members. Redmond. Sorry, I have a little note thing that I'm working on here.
Mhm.
Uh,
If you want, I can put it on the map for you.
no, I got it. I have the one that's here on the map, and then I have a Google Drive document here that I'm working on, which I will link to you
Yep.
guys in the Skype chat so that you can do whatever it is you wish
Well,
with
that's
it.
why I was saying I can put it on the map for you so that you can do your notes and then you don't have to double it up on it.
Aw. Do you guys have colors that you like as your gang?
If I was to pick, I would vote that purple should be in there because that's just my favorite color. But
Agreed.
Okay.
purple has been seconded. Has it been thirded?
Purple is fine.
All right, that's one.
Yeah. Black with the other one.
Purple and black
Sure, why
It's
not?
a classic combi.
colors.
Vibrant purple.
Vibrant purple.
In fact,
Like the
Ethan's color.
Yeah, I was just gonna say like the one that I have that I always pick.
Do you guys have any idea for an identifying mark or a specific gang tag you have rather than just the colors?
Not yet, but
Oh, we don't have a name yet. That's
Yeah.
an important part of things, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So, if we're purple and black, does that have any kind of resonance with anything?
The Saints from Saints Row.
No.
Womp womp.
That's literally all I can think of. Yeah, we've done well.
No, we got all kinds of stuff in here.
I meant for like names.
No, that's fine. What about NPCs of note? Is there somebody in this pile of 31 people that is somebody you want to throw a name onto?
Steve.
Steve?
My
Fucking
director
Steve.
was already called Steve.
It's
Yeah.
a different Steve. It's the Steve that, like when you just
Steve
say
the son.
Steve, you're talking about Steve, not Steve. And
Sorry, this is a joke that's coming over from another thing where
From the last game, yeah.
like every other NPC that we found was named Steve because we named them.
Mm.
But yeah,
NPCs of note. Steve. It's too bad. It's now a thing. You guys are gonna have to deal with it. What about any other NPCs? I saw Twitch chat popped up with mentioning Mama Jones, so I'll throw her on the
for it.
list.
Yeah, I almost want to say that she's the leader of the gang.
Yeah.
She
I
sounds
feel like there
stuffed
should
bird.
be.
I like the idea of like Mama Jones, like this, like I don't know, 50-year-old woman, who is the leader of some crazy gang out in the Barrens.
You could all be Mama's boys.
We totally could.
Steve.
Guess not.
No, I like the idea.
Like, come on, the Mama Jones. You gonna be the Mama's boys? Or are you gonna come up with another name?
I feel like there should be at least one mother in there somewhere who's like, my son is in that gang, and because of that, she has a grossly overinflated ego.
You are like super far away or something from your mic.
Right, I put that up. I was saying, I feel like there should be a mother somewhere who's like, my son is in that gang, and because of that, she has a grossly overinflated ego.
I like it.
Like, you can't mess with me. My son is in that one gang.
You want to give her a last name and maybe her son's name?
I don't know.
I thought Jones was the last name.
I thought Mama Jones was gonna be the leader, and this is gonna be a different Mama.
Oh, okay, got you.
Oh,
Sounds like Ian has something that he's excited. The ultraviolents. I kind of like it because of the purple.
Yeah. And it speaks to us because violence.
Sure.
That part really speaks to me.
oldest son
exactly.
Garrett.
She has a son by the name of Garrett.
I don't know what would be a good name for a mother.
Well, thankfully, I have this handy dandy random name generator.
Yeah,
That
I just randomly generated one. And I think it's perfect. McLean.
Miss Carol
Nice.
McLean. Gun.
You don't mess with a McLean.
no, you don't.
Yo, that is what I've learned from Die Hard.
Yeah, exactly. And Rob, just in case you don't have this generator, it's like ridiculously handy for Shadowrun.
Is it the one that gives you basically a like serial, not a serial number? We're not that
Yeah, it
far.
gives,
The
like, Social
dystopia.
Security and
Yep,
phone
that's the one I
number.
got.
All right, cool.
I will one up you with a buzzwords generator.
Ooh.
Boss has gathered managers for an emergency meeting. Said epic sustainability. What does that mean? Skate to where the puck is gonna be.
I guarantee you, epic sustainability is something that is actively being used in a boardroom right now.
It's
Yep.
super sad.
It's something.
You know what?
I'm
It can
adding
actually be used in the boardroom of my company.
Twats.
I don't disagree.
Did we decide our gang name was ultraviolents while my alarm went off?
Yes.
I think so. What does the gang do for money as a trade? Many gangs deal in drugs and beetles. Many deal in other things, protection and that kind of stuff. What do the ultraviolents do?
I think it sounds like we do a lot of protection stuff.
Yeah.
But I think there's also somebody who, like, we probably have a street doc in the gang, which would explain all of our cyberware that we have, and also where I'm learning cybernetics and other hardware stuff.
We could just be like heavily invested in cyberware, like street cyberware stuff.
It could be.
If you guys
It
are so cyber,
Could be some of the stuff you had to do to get into the gang was steal a bunch of cyberware, and they gave you a piece out of it.
Could have been, yeah.
Mm.
And then, other people are coming up in the gang and they are also stealing a bunch of cyberware.
Mm.
I feel like we'd probably have a protection racket of some sort as well. Like, just because of a name, it sounds like it's kind of easy money for us.
Protection / cyberware theft. Alright. Is there anything else you guys can think of that you want to throw in to kind of build up who and what the situation here is to kind of fill these things out a little bit more?
What's our aspiration for the gang? Like, are we wanting to grow them? Are we wanting to, like our gang, we wanting to grow it? Are we wanting it to take over more of them, take on the others? What?
Yeah, I
We
think
want to-
I feel like the obvious goal would be to grow it and have the beginning idea of like, oh, we want to be the biggest, baddest gang in all of Redmond, and then maybe eventually all of Seattle. But but we need to come up with like more short-term goals too. But
yeah, Seattle is a big goal.
Hmm.
does everyone agree that that is a goal that we should be aspiring to, or do you want to join a different gang, or like is this just like a springboard?
Like, growing just makes sense, right?
Yeah, personally, motivation-wise, it's fun to do, and if it's beneficial, he'll continue doing it. So growing it would be good.
Right. So, I guess our goal is to grow the gang. I keep on thinking to say guild.
If you went a different way and we're all a bunch of sword adepts or something like that, you could have thought you were in a guild and then like, tally ho!
We're all adepts with like
That
chainmail
almost
and
happened.
swords.
Yeah, you could have been accidentally slotting LARP BTL chips, and they've been stuck on, and you're just rolling with it as you could have been the Fellowship of the Barons. It'd been great.
That actually sounds like a really fun idea for a game.
It sounds like a terrible idea for a game that can only go well.
Yes, exactly.
Ambition.
I feel like to grow gang, there needs to be either an incentive for people who join, or an incentive for people who are in the area the gang controls.
If you join us, we don't stab you.
It's a really bad incentive.
Well, from the mundane standpoint, it seems like if you join up, you get access to cyberware,
Hmm.
which is
Oh, would
pretty
that
big
be
deal
members
for-
only? Because you can make a lot of money by just selling cyberware to everyone.
right. So, I mean, I would think that I don't know how we would make so much money off of cyberware that we have all this cyberware without like just getting squashed. But so I don't know how far we want to push that.
Well,
Well,
Um,
remember
gang
that,
members don't have to have cyberware like you do.
Mm.
remember that the theme is of a street level game. So as you guys are cybered up a whole bunch, those of you that are, there will be other gang members of the same size and of you guys that will have largely cybered members as well.
Right.
Because the street level rule set is garbage, so we're doing a street themed game. So everything that you guys had is like the opposing Shadowrunner equivalents will have maybe as many dice and things as you do.
Mm-hmm. So basically, this is just going to be like a more cyber-heavy version of Shadowrun.
It kind of can be. Maybe it's a little easier just as a theme to get a hold of cyberware. Maybe there is somebody who's been purposefully outfitting gangs with cyber to do things because conspiracy.
Cool.
Also,
I do like my tinfoil hat.
I feel like um, like we are as PCs, we can be a power level above the all other gang members in our gang. Like we can be like if you're super cyber combat warrior, you can be the number one soldier of the gang, right? That's why you're going on all these crazy missions.
Yeah, we're not the average, we're the above average, basically.
So the two full-blown members are like enforcers. That's why they've gotten more cyberware than your average person.
That's how
The
you
two
build your
gnomes.
characters, right?
Yeah, I definitely like that idea.
Okay.
Sure.
Do you guys hold actual positions of power in the gang, or are you just, all right, let's call up Knuckles and Bruno. We need somebody to go break some legs.
Yeah, I think that's more
I'm
the case.
definitely the latter.
Like they might consult my character just because of the stats that I have, but I wouldn't actually be the one making any decisions on that in that regard.
You
That
are
is
the
not-
hammer.
Sure.
You have like logic 7. How would you not be the one who makes the decisions?
I am an advisor. That's what I'm saying.
He is Tyrion Lannister.
Yeah,
Hmm.
with a giant metal cyber arm.
I kind of like the idea of it being like an orangutan arm and it just drags on the side next to you.
That's pretty much how I imagine it.
Perfect. Call you lopsided.
Yep.
Was there anything you wanted to? I know we have somebody that jumped on the grenade of ex-con. And I believe we mentioned a. I'm gonna come down here. I got a little bit more page. Officer friendly.
That's friendly. I hate him.
He just sounds so nice.
You
Well,
just
he's gonna
know that
be-
he's not.
He's gonna be that guy that is gonna be like, "Oh, isn't that just swell?"
Yeah.
And it's in the most condescending tone one could get.
And it's while he's fucking your mom.
Maybe, maybe. Is there any
Want to
input
set
you
him on
want to?
fire. I can't.
So I have a couple
Yeah,
ideas for him.
Sounded like I imagined it.
I'm sorry.
That sounded pretty much like how I imagined it.
Excellent. So he is going to be your parole officer. He's going to be awakened because that's the best way to keep.
He's
He-
going to stalk me.
Who knows?
Face.
Who knows what? I'm just telling you, he's awakened. Who knows what kind of awakened he actually is? We'll find out as things go on. Does he have any habits besides being ridiculously friendly?
I don't know.
I'd like to think he's like a really bad germaphobe.
He
So he
drinks
wants to shake
whiskey
their hands.
in the office.
Ah.
It's like he has a bottle of whiskey on his table all the time. And it's half empty all the time.
Did you say it was always empty?
Half empty. Always half.
Half empty.
But he's also always drinking.
I like to think that he has it on there just as pure bait. Be like, yeah, you want to drink? You're not supposed to drink. You're on parole. You want to drink?
Maybe.
And every time you come in, he's going to offer you one. It's like, hey, can I get you a drink? And it's just there as bait.
You
I
want some
believe.
Nova Coke? Maybe some Kami?
Can I do you a line? I have a stripper in the closet. She's still warm.
I have a Bunraku puppet in the closet.
Right
if you'd
now.
like.
I believe Ryan started to say something in there about he had an idea for Officer Friendly.
Oh, I just think it would be hilarious. Like, he's so friendly. He's always wanted to shake people's hands, but he's
Oh,
a real germaphobe.
Germaphobe.
It's like, no, I want to shake, but I can't.
Well, no, I imagine he'd be the guy that will shake your hand and then immediately pull out hand sanitizer directly in front of you. Because what are you going to say to him?
That would amuse me. Because I'll totally be like, yeah, we can deal, and spit into your hand and then shake it.
Is there anything we wanted to find about Mama Jones? Besides being the leader. And I believe we said somewhere in her 50s.
Yeah.
I'd like to imagine she's got two huge cyber arms.
Love it.
Just like massive burly things.
She should be an orc too.
Yeah.
Well, orcs don't live into their 50s.
Yeah, that's true.
She could be a
Damn.
troll. She could be an old troll. They lived about 60-something.
I feel like
Well,
Mama
maybe
Jones.
maybe she's
sounds
like a
she
four-
would be black.
Maybe she's in her 40s and she's a troll. So she's like in the 50s area for humanoid, or for human, but we just translate that to troll.
Yep. 2 huge cyber arms. What's her past like?
She must have clearly been some kind of enforcer to get that kind of equipment. Let's say she used to work for the mob. That sounds like something they would do, right?
And then she founded the gang when she got sick of working for them.
This is her retirement plan.
Yeah, I'm
Yes,
thinking that she
right.
retired and then all the gangs just pissed her off so much that she's like, fine, starting my own gang.
Yeah.
Okay. Twitch chat contributed little G, so he'll show up eventually.
Little G.
Yeah, he's
Nice.
But he's like 12 years old with cyber arms.
There was actually nothing outside of Mrs. McLean about my son's in a gang that was really
Oh.
defined about them.
Right.
Is there any of you guys' contacts that you want to gang affiliate, or are they all kind of?
I have a street doc who would specialize in cyberware, which I assume would be the person who would be the person that was inventorying that kind of stuff.
Okay, so your street doc works for the gang.
Yeah.
All right, let me find. NPCs of note. Interface. Street doc contact. Now, is he in the gang or does he just work with them?
I think he just works closely with them. He's not
Okay.
actually a part of it, I guess.
Sure.
On the gang protection.
Okay, so he's got a. He operates out of someplace that is within their turf, then.
Right. It's a machine shop.
Got it.
I have a name for that if you want.
For
The machine shop.
yeah, I'll get that onto the Google Drive
Sure.
thing in a minute. This is just let's throw stuff against the wall and see what sticks.
Sure, no problem.
I know we had talked about you guys wanted to have some issues with the was it the triads? I believe we talked about.
Yeah, we figured the tribes would be the organized crime syndicate that's just in the area our gangs also in.
Sure.
Like more area than our gangs, and of course.
Come down here for a second. Is there a particular, let's say, lieutenant or something within the triads that you you guys have had run-ins with before?
I have a contact that's a tried soldier, like an initiated soldier,
Uh-huh.
that I met in prison, and he came out a couple months before I came out.
Okay. Do you think he's upgraded to lieutenant and you just don't know about it yet, or do you think there is another triad lieutenant guy who
He's probably still only a soldier.
Okay. So let's come up with a lieutenant. That might be the guy that you guys interact with. Maybe sometime in the near future. Maybe sometime in a little while. Who knows? What could go wrong?
You could always try and help Trix's friend become the new lieutenant or lieutenant.
That is potentially a way to circumnavigate your triad problem if you have a friendly lieutenant who is amicable to the things that you are trying to do.
Yeah, what if we're trying to get Trix's contact promoted.
It could just even be something that you don't not necessarily like working towards, but would be a happy accident in your dealings with the triads if this is like
Right.
if this is how it ends up. But
Just thought the way we can get some of that cyberware that we have.
yeah, maybe we'll see how. Go ahead.
I was say one of my contacts is a corporate scientist,
Okay.
so you could
think-
occasionally smuggle a little bit out of there.
All right, that sounds like something that could totally be doable. And I remember reading the thing you were talking about with that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know if my Triad contact necessarily trusts me enough to have me meddle in Triad internal politics. So, like, he's only at loyalty 3, which is like some guy that I know
Loyalty
reasonably
3 is
well.
pretty good if memory serves. Let me pop open my
It's
5th edition.
acquaintance, while 4 is friendly.
Yeah. It's loyalty rating. Of course, now it's
386. Well, 87. Loyalty 3 is acquaintance.
okay.
Relationships friendly, but actual friend is stretching it. 4 is actual friendship.
Excellent. So it's something we could perhaps move you into sometime if you guys do a thing that that benefits him.
Mhm.
And who knows, if you're rolling around with a couple of crazy tricked out gnomes, I can't imagine anybody remembering them,
Yeah.
So if there was
Maybe
a go ahead.
Maybe he offered me some work once I got out as like an uninitiated. But then I went back to the gang because I know these people from before. So that could be an option later on.
Yeah, no, that's totally a an idea. How about the gang runs pit fighting and then sells the sim recordings as Beatles?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, you guys you gonna be a pit fighter?
I'm totally
You
into
need
that.
like cyberware
Definitely.
for recording.
That would actually work really well for me.
All right, so we can go protection / Beetle production. Because I imagine when you have a reputation for producing some really violent beetles, that in protection comes really really easy to you. It's like, don't make us record you.
Which of you had electronic witnesses as a quality?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, you have the hardware then to record beetles, right?
Yep. Wait. What do you need for that?
You need the
Typically, it's a sim
recorder?
rig.
I don't. I mean, I could buy one. I have some money.
No,
I
you
probably
as it is a gang production thing. I imagine they have a building that has a basement with a some gears. Like, all right, suit up in this, and then suit the other guy up, and then push the other guy in. And it's like, all right, go beat him to death.
Cool.
For beetles, you just need to be able to record emotions as well as video stuff. So some hardware is required.
Maybe that could be what Steve does. Maybe Steve is the guy that turns your SimSense recordings into Beatles.
Sweet.
This goddamn Steve. So I just need a triad lieutenant, just some like personality and stuff to come up with him. Maybe a street name, not necessarily like his actual name.
Chairman Ming.
Well, the gang leaders in the triads are called Red Poles. That makes for a cool street name.
I'm sorry, I missed that.
Well, the official name for a lieutenant in a triad is Red Pole, which that's already a pretty cool name, right?
The red pole. It sounds suggestive.
Well,
They're called.
Yeah, and everybody calls them the Red Rockets.
but the
In fact, if the Neo Foxes are technically part of, if they're like another triad sect, they are definitely called the Red Rockets.
oh man, the Neo Foxes can totally be a I want to call them a subsidiary, the people that don't quite make it into the actual triads are just like, all right, have our cast-offs and go be stupid foxes. Um,
But yeah,
what
if you don't have a good name, we can just always call them Redmond, Red Pole, because that's what they're actually called.
oh, they don't have like street names or anything. I'm terrible when it comes to actually.
Well, they can have street names, but the official title inside the triad is the Red Pole of district.
So we'll come up with a street name as we go on for him, like something to differentiate him from the other, or her, from the other red poles. What about some personality traits or things along those lines?
Violent, but yeah, what's the word? Cunning but brutal.
Cunning but brutal.
I want to give him like some kind of not weakness, but like
A vice.
a vice of some kind.
I feel like the character could be rigid as well. Like they follow the rules to the letter, so you could potentially trick them using their own rules.
Well,
if you
the
get
triads
me.
have the 36 elves, which I haven't actually read. Maybe there's something in there.
Yeah.
What would the verbiage for following the letter of the law be?
Rigid,
Rigid?
I guess. Yeah, because that way you can kind of apply it to anything. If they make a verbal agreement, they will follow that exactly.
Rigidly honor bound?
Yeah.
Yeah, honor bound, I guess.
36 oaths.
They swear this when they become initiated.
All right, that's a lot of stuff. I will.
Yeah, which is why I haven't actually read it.
I will bookmark that under here.
I will bookmark that and probably never read it, but maybe skim it.
It says stuff like, "What do you do if you steal from a brother?"
So Twitch chat comes through again with the only way for a formal meeting with him is to have an Asian coin that you hand to the doorman to then get escorted up into the private lounge.
I like it.
Ooh.
Do they use in China for money?
Well, it doesn't necessarily have to be an actual
Renminbi.
currency. It could be
What
a.
even?
Oh,
I
you were
don't
just
know how to
curious
say
about
this.
the currency. Gotcha.
I don't know how to pronounce this.
Like, do you have a spell for creating illusions or anything, Tricks?
Renminbi?
Well,
It doesn't necessarily have to be coin. Let's change coin to token.
No, I only have illusion spells invisibility.
So say potentially you could just give them something or cast a spell over it so it looks like what they think it is and hand it over. Then hope we're gone before they figure it out.
What could possibly go wrong?
Exactly.
I have influence and alter memory, which is we can make them think that I handed them the coin, but I didn't actually.
Well, considering we want to continue having a relationship with this guy, I don't ever recommend doing that unless for some reason we figure out something that we want to kill him or whatever.
Yeah, I agree.
Sever our ties.
Yeah.
Especially as these two spells decay, so after a while they remembered they got messed with.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe somebody's contact calls you up, you're like, "Hey, I need you to kill a man." But I'll need to read that triad thing beforehand, just to make sure that's not. Because I believe they also do a crazy magical binding ritual. So that
Yeah, that's these oaths.
Yeah. So that. Yeah.
I don't know what they do exactly as part of the nation, but that's this.
Ooh, a mahjong tile. That's a pretty good
cool.
one.
That works pretty well, especially as the triads make a lot of money in Hong Kong from gambling with mahjong.
Maybe you guys bonded over the fact that you helped make these Trid or the Beatles about the fights, and maybe we're gonna try and set something up with the triad for or maybe we have a deal with them where they only allow us to do this because we pay them a certain amount, and maybe he's just interested in the fights for whatever reason.
There could be a number of things. It's more so that because I want you guys to feel like you're involved with making aspects of the world rather than all right, we've got our characters and now you can
Right.
spout exposition at us, which is significantly less interesting, I feel, than when you are
Agreed.
invested in them. That being said, do you guys have anything else you want to throw out as general crazy ideas here, or
Not at the moment.
Yeah, no, nothing comes to mind. I think we covered everything that we wanted to cover.
It's pretty thorough.
Yeah, for the gang aspects.
Yep. All right. So in that case, I'm gonna take a quick break as we've been going for almost an hour. Grab a drink and all of that stuff, and then we'll come back and we'll get into our little get our mage out of jail situation that we're in. And we'll start to meet some of these people, and we'll start to figure that whole situation out.